We discussed quite a number of really pertinent issues that we face as South Africa. And I think for me, the main takeaway is around skills, how we close the skills gap, but in a creative way. We were looking at skills not just from a certain age, but across generations, the gender gap, and how we encourage women within the ICT space, and how we make it more palatable for them. And then I think lastly, just the concern around how do we improve South Africa, is the opportunities around private-public partnerships. What does that look like? What could that look like? And how do we then move forward? But what for me was really encouraging about the entire roundtable was that all of us around the table were not just thinking about our own organizations, we were thinking about South Africa. We were thinking about improving our country. And for me, that's always a plus. I know that our Director General for Digital and Communications is very passionate about ensuring that we get broadband and that we get internet, especially to those areas, those rural areas, those areas where people are not able to access, to make it more accessible. So the conversation was about what are the things that we could do, how could we come to the party and assist to get that digital divide closed, even if it's only marginal.
So today we had two very interesting forums at which BCX supports, the Enterprise Forum and the Public Sector Forum. So the Public Sector Forum is a culmination of different SOEs and public sector companies, or departments rather, that have come together to form an alliance and a partnership that's looking towards a common goal of providing a better experience and provision of services for the citizen. Whereas the Enterprise Forum is a culmination of different private sector entities, including small business as well, that are coming from multiple different industries that have a common goal of seeing our society move forward and trying to make an impact in the industries in which they play. I think as BCX, we've got a very important role to play in helping bridge the digital divide that exists within South Africa and beyond South African borders. We've got a vested interest in creating community economies in the regions in which we play in. And we've got a vested interest in ensuring that we see not just our companies thriving, our country thriving, but to seeing societies thrive. We've got a very much keen interest in helping skills and a commitment to the skill group, or at least the youth in delivering that as well. So I think BCX has a very important role to play in ensuring that we bridge the digital divide, and we also help increase the number of technology skills that exist within the country. I think digital has taken to market quite fast in the last 3 years, but we still have a large digital gap within society. So ours is to work with our partners in both forums in order to bridge that digital divide and ensure a cascading of digital skills across the band and across the youth.
The key area firstly is how do we as government entities try to align in terms of the price point. So we want to have to collaborate in actually bringing all the OEMs that we deal with, because some of the OEMs that we deal with are actually the same across the board. Because we need to deal with these OEMs as a country, as an SA Inc., and that's what actually came up very, 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 very visibly. And while we're doing that, if we get good price point, the savings that we can get out of there, we can actually start challenging that saving into skills development, into SMME support, and we can start to give SMME in SA localization business that they can be able to deliver services for us. In terms of what we discussed, SETA is at the center of delivery of all the services. And I think the first discussions that we're going to have include SETA as a driver of the government strategy, in collaboration with National Treasury, in collaboration with all the government agencies, in actually just making sure that the strategy that we're developing is actually coordinated, so that it actually starts to avoid the wastefulness of the things that we do. I think the outcomes and the strategy going forward, I think it came out clear that the triple P collaboration with the private sector and ourselves is quite key for the success of this country. So that is the first point. The second point that came very, very eloquently is the point around the skills development and how the skills are developed through partnership and just making sure that we can be able to get into creating skills that are necessary and creating skills that will add value to businesses. And what also came out around skills is how, as businesses, we can actually start to do proper investment in early ages of the kids, just to make sure that by the time they get into graduation, that is actually being enhanced. So the other element that came very, 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 very visibly is the issue of partnership with multinationals in actually developing the cloud skills in the country and actually just enhancing the critical areas where partnership have already been made. So we talk about Alibaba partnerships in SA, and how do we start to develop those particular skills?